Hello. In this video, you're going to know exactly what is a server. To understand server better, let's take an example of a Facebook application. As a software engineer who is working at Facebook, and he's going to write programming for Facebook, which means when somebody tries to access Facebook from your browser or your mobile app, his code might get executed. And he will probably write this code in Java, Node.js, Python, C++, or whichever programming language he may choose to. Once he's done with his writing, once he's ready with the code, he needs to deploy that code into some machine so that general public, when they access Facebook, the request will actually come to that machine where the code is running. Code is nothing but a set of instructions on what needs to be done. Let's say there's a piece of code which has login logic. So what this particular thing does is, when somebody tries to log into Facebook, it will check the username and password, and based on that it will allow user to log in or not. Likewise, when somebody does a post in Facebook, this logic will ensure that that post will appear on his wall. We'll do a simple analogy. Let's compare code with a mobile phone. Assume there's a mobile phone which has no SIM and no charge, which means it cannot work. So for a mobile phone to work, it requires charge, and also it requires a SIM card so that it can receive signals from the tower. Similarly, for application code to work over network, it requires a software, and that software is called server. So what this particular software does is, whenever there's a request coming from internet, this software will ensure that it route that request to the correct area in the code. Let's say the request is for logging. So when somebody is trying to log into Facebook, so this particular request will be going to that code which has login logic. Likewise, when somebody is trying to retrieve the post on his wall, then there is this request which goes to that area in the code which can give all the posts on a particular wall. There could be another request which is searching for a particular person on Facebook. Then there's a logic in this code which will give you that particular response, which will give you the results of the search. So your server will ensure it will route the request to the corresponding area in the code, and also server will ensure your code will run. So server is nothing but a software which will ensure your application code is running, and also it will process or it will handle various requests coming from various sources, and it will respond to those requests with the correct response. We'll look at few examples to understand server better. Let's take an example of somebody trying to log into Facebook from mobile. So there'll be a server which has Facebook code running. So request will come to that server, and based on the request, the server will send to the corresponding area in the code, and it will respond with the requested page. As you can see, the mobile is loaded with the home page, because after you log in, the response would be the home page. Likewise, if you go to YouTube, if you are looking for a YouTube video, then it goes to the YouTube server. That means the place where YouTube code is running, it will go there, and it will respond with the corresponding video. If you are going for a shopping application like Amazon, if you are looking for your orders, then it will go to the Amazon server, or the server where the Amazon code is running, and it will respond with the corresponding details. So these are all few examples of various servers. And server can run on a standalone PC, it can run on a laptop. So it's a software, so you can run it anywhere. But we generally call the entire machine as a server, because any system which has server software running on it is called a server. You can also run the server on laptop. Let's say there's a application, a Facebook application, which has only one machine which has a server running on it. And you have 1 million people requesting for Facebook. That is, they are trying to access Facebook, use Facebook. That means all the requests from the internet will come to this particular server. And server has a capacity. It can only hold so many requests, or it can only respond to so many requests. If it is gone beyond that, server will not able to handle the load, and there could be a crash in the server, which means the system will not function according to what it has to. So that is called a server crash. So to avoid server crash, we generally have multiple servers running in parallel, so that depending upon from where the request is coming, or depending upon the load on a particular machine, the request will get diverted to various other machines. As you can see, some requests are coming to the machine which is at the bottom, some are going to the server machine which is at the top. So this way the load is balanced. As you can see, the server is nothing but a software which has your application code running, and that software will run on a particular CPU or the system. CPU is what is very important. You don't require a monitor. So you can remove the monitor because you can just connect from any machine and you can just play around with the server if you have permissions to the server. So generally, if you look at server rooms, you will not have monitors. You will have bunch of CPUs arranged together, and they generally connect to the server room remotely from various other machines. So you can probably connect from your laptop or desktop if you have access to that particular server machine. If you have CPU at your home, it is generally bulky and it has only like 8 GB or 16 GB RAM, which is pretty low. Now if you look at Facebook, there are more than 2.5 billion users and they will require thousands of TB of RAM, not GB, TB of RAM. 1000 GB is equal to 1 TB and they require thousands of TBs of RAM. That means you will have to have a lot of 8 GB machines to process or to cater this requirement, which will occupy a lot of space. To address the space issue, they have compacted the CPUs. As you can see, 40 CPUs of 8 GB RAM could be equal to one compact CPU. So that is the rack CPU or a blade CPU. So which is nothing but the same CPU, but it has higher capacity and it is very compact. So advantage of having it this compact is you can actually store them in the form of a rack. So if you have a big warehouse, you can create various racks and you can just push the CPU into the rack. As you can see, somebody is pushing a CPU into a rack and they are all connected. This way it will save a lot of space. So if you look at a lot of James Bond movies or movies where there are a lot of spies and you can find people hacking into the systems, they generally go to the server room and they just try to connect. So that is nothing but a big room which has a lot of servers arranged one after the other in the form of racks. If you look at Facebook data center, a simple data center, they have many other data centers. So this entire buildings have a lot of rack servers. That means they require so much capacity to cater around 2.5 billion users. And if you can see inside that particular building, you'll have a lot of racks and each of these racks will have multiple servers and they will be running various applications or Facebook applications. Each of this machine will have a software running which is called a server, and inside the server you'll have the application code or various other things. As you can see, server is nothing but a software which runs the application code, and server is deployed on a computer. Once it's deployed, server can access requests from internet. So basically it will be able to handle requests and also respond appropriately. For big enterprise like Facebook, they will require a lot of computers. And if the computers are bulky, they're going to take a lot of space. So the computers are made compact so that they can be arranged in the form of racks and they can save on a lot of space. The servers which are there in rack, so each of those servers can run the Facebook application. So they will be able to handle the request from external internet or any other source, and they should be able to respond appropriately. So as you can see, server is nothing but a software which runs the application code. And if the server is running on a system, the entire system is called a server system. I hope I've given you enough information regarding server. If you really like this video, hit on the like button and do subscribe to my channel. Thank you.